Always remember that often God speaks through feelings of inner peace. He speaks through dreams, visions, through the guidance of the Holy Scriptures, the Bible, sometimes through quiet times. God can also speak to you through someone else. So stay open, trust Him, and be patient, because He speaks in so many ways, and His voice becomes more clearer if you walk in faith, which goes to my next point. Don't expect to hear God's voice clearer if you're distant from Him, if your ways are not aligning with His word, because God often speaks to those who are willingly, who are earnestly seeking Him. So if you want to hear God's voice, get closer to Him, because the more you're far away, it's hard to hear His voice. Another question that people usually ask is, okay, so if I don't feel inner peace, does it mean that it's not God's will, or it's not God's purpose for my life? I would say yes, that's a good way to put it, because if you are stressed, if you are not at ease, not peace at all, you always questioning the decision, it's usually, in most cases, not God's will for your life. I would say that if you feel that way, seek guidance from wise counsel, maybe from preachers, from bishops, from His word, through prayer, through fasting. Like, I want you to get to the point where you feel peace, and if that peace never comes, it means it's not something you're supposed to do. There is no way that you're doing what God asked you to do, but still you are uncertain. There is no way. There is no way. God's will for your life brings peace. I know sometimes it happens that maybe you're doing two things at the same time. For an example, maybe you worship or you are a singer, but at the same time you feel like there's still more to do. I mean, you are at peace with the singing, at the same time you feel like you need to preach the word of God. It happens that you are assigned to do more than one thing. It is possible. But what I'm saying is, when it's from God, you will feel peace. That's all I'm saying. Peace doesn't mean easy. So if whatever you are at peace with is not easy, it doesn't mean that it's not the right thing. It's not always easy. Continue doing it. Do not give up. It's part of your journey. With this topic, we can talk like for the whole day, because there are more and more and more questions that follows up from this topic. In the description below, I've put more questions with answers. Maybe the question that you have, or the way that you wanted to ask your question, is in the description below. So just go there and read more, because like I said, this topic can take the whole day. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful. I hope I've answered your question of how do you know it's God's purpose for your life. The inner peace. The inner peace. If you don't feel that, it's not it. If you're doing something and you feel like, oh, but I feel like I should be doing that, that longing of doing something else other than what you're doing, I would say pray more about it and pursue that thing also. I know it's challenging to hear God's voice because of our thoughts, because of our own feelings. Sometimes we want to think what we want to see. So if whatever you're feeling doesn't align with what you want to do, you start questioning. But I'm saying, if you feel inner peace, that's it. Continue doing that. That is your purpose. So yeah, guys, I'll see you on my next one. Bye.